Cardano. It's like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. And me, well, I'm kind of into Marmite, kind of into Cardano. And I am really bullish on the future of ADA. Let's roll that intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another walk and talk video here in a very cold and kind of wintry United Kingdom. It's rocking about -1 at the moment, so it's pretty cold. I'll try to keep this video pretty short and keep it kind of on point for kind of what I want to talk about when it comes to Cardano's ADA. So most recently, we have seen some pretty decent volatility on Cardano, right? We saw a good surge to the upside, and we have seen price cooling off just a little bit. Now, we were hoping to see Cardano's ADA rally up just a little bit more, looking to kind of push up towards 74 cents, and it still is very possible that we still see that move to the upside. I am expecting Bitcoin to kind of bounce up a little bit, but not before it goes down a little bit more. And I think the same is going to be said here for Cardano's ADA, right? So I think what we're going to see is we're probably going to see a little bit more cooling off on Cardano's ADA. And I don't think this is anything to kind of be massively concerned with, but it's going to present itself with some pretty good opportunities to build out your positions on ADA before another surge to the upside. Now, Bitcoin, I'm expecting to kind of push up towards $45,000, $46,000. And then when that happens, I expect Cardano to kind of be pushing up and testing out probably that range of around 74 to 80 cent range, right? I think it's going to be somewhere in there. Now, this will be, and this is not going to sound great, but it's going to be a short-term move. This move to the upside is going to be one last hurrah before we actually see the bigger corrections, right? So kind of cooling off, maybe heading down a little bit in the real short term towards that kind of 200 hourly EMA or daily EMA, before we get that surge up towards 74, 80 cent. Once we complete that, there is really little there's really not much, and there's little to kind of keep it up in that range, in my opinion. I think what we're going to do is we're probably going to cool off, and we're going to be retesting some of these lows that we've seen most recently and go down a little bit deeper. Now, I think accumulation is kind of a key word for ADA, because that's kind of what I think we want to be doing in kind of the medium term. Now, there is some positivity to be seen in 2024. Maybe not has started off the way that we wanted to with the Bitcoin spot ETFs, and I've kind of spoken a lot about that over the last few kind of weeks or so, where with it being a 𝗕𝗘𝗪 news event, and that's all kind of a part of a much bigger play, which is the US economy essentially is kind of what is ultimately dictating so much. And what I think is going to happen here is we're going to see 2024 be a key year for the US economy and the crypto market, stock market, and so forth. My expectations will be that in Q1, and I've said this many times already, but Q1 will be a period in time where we see a lot of negativity in terms of price action. And it's an opportunity, not something to be feared or anything like that. It's basically the opportunity to dollar cost average, build out those positions before the Fed over in the US, Federal Reserve, pivot on their interest rates. And I've spoken about this a number of different times, but basically what's likely to happen here over the next kind of Q2, Q3 of 2024 is a Fed pivot, which will reduce their interest rates. Essentially means that they're going to turn on the money printer to save some of the regional banks that are having issues over in the US. We can see that there's a lot of issues going on. I spoke about this last week or the week before, I forget, where the regional banks in the US are not in a strong position. And so we're more than likely going to see more banks failing over in the US. And in order to kind of prevent some of the fallout of that, it's going to be inevitable that there will be bailouts, and bailouts require money, and money will be printed in order to be able to do that. And that's ultimately what we're looking for. We're looking for interest rates to basically reverse in the US so that they drop rather than increase. If the interest rates increase, then it incentivizes people to hold their cash in banks and earn an interest versus looking at higher risk asset plays like the cryptocurrency market. So going back to Cardano, what this is likely to mean is that until the Fed pivot, we're likely to see a correction in price. So 74.80 cents on the kind of short term movements, but then I think down again 35 cents, 30 cents could be an area of great accumulation for Cardano. Now, I know that on this channel we kind of get some negative press, I guess, from time to time when it comes to what we think of Cardano, and I don't think a lot of people truly understand, right? Well, we're big, massive proponents to Cardano. We love the ecosystem, we love what they've been doing. I think their approach to this is exactly what the space needs, right? A really thought out, methodical approach to blockchain technology. And although we are sometimes bearish on the price of ADA, the long-term aspects of our thoughts for the Cardano ecosystem are incredibly bullish. And so long-term, I think, yeah, Cardano is in a really sweet spot. Over the next few days, I'll probably put out another video where I'm discussing the future potential of where I think the price action of ADA could be going in the longer term, where we think, the next bullish market is likely to take that price action. And that's one that you're going to want to watch out for, because I think it's going to really turn a lot of heads. And I think if we do actually start to see some of this insane price action I do think is coming for Cardano, I think Cardano is going to really be put on the map in such a big way that a lot of these naysayers and these fudders out there for the ADA ecosystem are going to be left with their jaw dropped and just complete and utter disbelief as to kind of what's unfolded. Now, I think in that longer term picture, yeah, Cardano is an ecosystem that is well and truly developed and embedded and ingrained in many smaller economies around the world. I think we're going to start to see a bit of that digital revolution that we've all been talking about for such a long time. So although short-term price action on ADA might not be what we want to see, this idea of liquidity grabbing where quick moves up, crashes to the downside before we go up again into those slightly higher ranges, might not be what we want to see, but it is something that I think we need to see. So for the most part, I'm really bullish on Cardano, and although short-term plays might not be what you want, it gives you great opportunity to dollar cost average and to build out those really big positions before that next big surge to the upside. And boy, it's going to be a big one in my opinion. So if you want to know a little bit more about what my thoughts are on the bigger kind of macro picture of the economy, you should probably check out my Bitcoin video that I recorded earlier today, where I discuss all of the technical moves on Bitcoin. I'll link it right here.